A busy weather weekend. We're looking at multiple rounds of rainfall. First starting to see some of those raindrops right now just north of Eau Claire. We've been dealing with some thunderstorms with our friends off to the west in Minnesota. These are just starting to reach across into our western border in that northwestern part of the state. Luckily, these storms have been decreasing with severity as they've made their way to the east, so not expecting anything too intense for your Saturday morning. However, scattered showers really going to pick up over Eau Claire and Wausau within this next couple of hours. You can see we're all under level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather here. Main threat's going to be some stronger winds. Those storms that moved through Minnesota had wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour. So looking at some pretty strong winds for today, it's going to be that main threat, and then that flooding threat as well, as we're looking at some multiple rounds of rain for all of us across the state today. Now, I'll be the first to admit that forecast models have not been the greatest at predicting this system. However, today, a few of those have some similarities, some things that we can really start to count on with those lining up. And one of those is that chance for multiple rounds of rain, and that's why we're under this slight risk for excessive rainfall for the majority of the state. Now, taking a look at our future track, some models start to show some isolated storms and showers pop up over the central part of the state, but most models are more so focused on that scattered storm chance that's going to be taking up the Eau Claire area by mid-morning, making its way to the east for Wausau and starting to stretch south into Madison and La Crosse areas by the early afternoon. So that's really our first round of rain that we're looking at. It's going to be through the early afternoon. Notice some heavier cells, some heavier rainfall starting to set up, and that's going to linger for quite a while. So that's really where that flood chance also starts to come in. Many of us are going to start to dry up by the evening hour. However, a lot of models show some bands of rainfall making their way across the central portion of the state. Now, the exact placement of this, it could change. It could shift to the south, could shift to the north. You're not going to want to hold on exactly to this, but just know that some of us could still be seeing some stronger cells as we make our way into our dinner hour. Many of us going to be dry at that time, though. Another thing that a lot of models really are agreeing upon is this line of storms stretching roughly from the La Crosse area out towards Milwaukee. Similar to that other line, could see this shift to the southwest or to the northeast. Wausau, Eau Claire, your southernmost area is going to be getting a little bit wet from this, from a few stray showers and a few stray storms. But for the most part, that line's really going to be focused on the La Crosse and Madison areas as it pushes to the southwest through those overnight hours. So could be seeing some stronger cells embedded within that line as it makes its way to the southwest. That's really our secondary round of rain as we move our way through those overnight hours. Similar to this morning, we're going to start off our Sunday on that drier side, but lots of rainfall even just through it today. Many of us in the northern half of the state looking at 1 inch or so by the time that we get to this evening, and then by the time that we get to tomorrow evening, everyone across the state in that 1 to 2 inch range with some locally heavier rainfall totals possible. So definitely a weekend that you're going to want to keep an eye on the latest forecast, because things have been changing pretty rapidly. It all depends on what happens. It has a really big impact on what's going to happen later. Temperatures for the day landing right in those high 70s, low 80s across the state. Madison area a little bit warmer. We start to cool off early next week.